Hi guys, today I'll show you exactly how to use Masterworking and how much it costs at the blacksmith to push an item to the state you want in numbers. Not a little or a lot, but every item I worked on this season with exact values, plus the average. And I'll also show you a few miracles. This is new off. You drop a like and sub, I bring the data. Let's start with a real miracle. I had heard about it but never saw it myself. I went to the blacksmith and on the very first attempt the stat I needed turned blue. On the second click it turned yellow. On the third click it became legendary. 3 tries and all 3 hit. I'm sure this will never happen to me again in Diablo 4, just like it never happened before in nearly a year of playing. But you know, if you do something long enough, strange things can happen. For example, I got 2 mythic items from Belial in a row. Before that, I had about 5 mythics over 25 or 30 kills, but never 2 in a row. If you want to know more about mythic drops from Uber bosses and about crafting 130 mythics, links to those videos are in the description. Note that all this data was gathered during the season, and it's not in chronological order. At different times I had different amounts of resources. Don't let that confuse you. First one is an amulet. All data for each item was either recorded on video or screenshotted before and after. The amulet hit tier 3 of the desired stat on the third attempt to turn a tier 2 yellow affix into a tier 3 legendary. Total spent, 21,000 Obducite, 500 Forgotten Souls, and 125 million gold. Armor, Shroud of False Death hit tier 3 on the stat I wanted on the 8th attempt, turning yellow into legendary. Total spent, 70,000 Obducite, 2,100 Forgotten Souls, and 736 million gold. Let me not waste time and just give you the extremes. The fastest and cheapest was a wand. It only needed 5,000 Obducite, 100 Forgotten Souls, and 8 million gold. Of course, the helmet from the start of the video is not included in the stats. That's an anomalously low one-time value. The most expensive for me was Flicker Step. That was an experiment for low-level pits. Result, right now in Season 9, this Masterworking for ultimate damage is useless. It required 163,000 Obducite, 4,600 Forgotten Souls, and 1.5 billion gold. There's a link in the description to a table with all results. Don't get confused by the gold mismatch in rows 3 and 16. The difference in gold comes from how often Masterworking gets reset back to 0 from tier 1, 2, or 3. In total, I masterworked 17 items to tier 3 on the needed stat this season. As you can see, results vary a lot. The average per item is marked in red. I don't know if that's a lot or a little expensive or cheap for casual players. But for people playing at least 12 to 15 hours a week, crafting around 10 tier 3 items in a couple of months of a season is not a problem. And you know what else happens? Sometimes even tempering isn't a problem. I thought it was impossible to get 2 max tempering rolls in 4 tries. Turns out, it is possible. Just like that. 2 Hydra heads and max Hydra damage in 4 attempts. Don't ask me why Diablo counts 2 rolls as 1. I have no idea. But fact is, I got what I thought was impossible. Now just a couple of words for those who didn't understand what this is about. Legendary, unique, and mythic items can be improved at the blacksmith through Masterworking. Legendary items must first be tempered at the blacksmith. Tempering is done using recipes that drop for you while leveling up. There are 3 types of recipes by rarity: magic, rare, and legendary. Unique and mythic items can be masterworked right away. Each item with 800 power can be masterworked 12 times. Every level raises all stats by 5%. Every 4th time, one random stat gets an extra 25%. These are called tiers. The whole challenge is to hit all 3 tiers into the stat you need. Tiers can be reset at any time. There's a detailed video on crafting at the link in the description. How to get materials for Masterworking. There are videos on where and how to farm resources too. Check the links in the description. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.